Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are very, very fortunate to have with us the association of His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu. Devo! So we were very, very fortunate to have his association many years back at ISKCON Albert Road, Minto Park during a Durga Puja festival. Prabhu was with us with Mataji for about 7 days for a youth camp, and I remember Prabhu's association was so enthusing, and I still have some remembrance of how Prabhu's presentation made it like how Krishna consciousness is meant to make the whole world Krishna conscious. It's just not about making few people who are interested to be Krishna conscious. So that was his contagious enthusiasm that he gave to all the devotees. I'd like to briefly introduce him. His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu was born in USA, St. Louis, in the holy month of Kartik, and he met Srila Prabhupada in the year 1971. And since then, for 51 years, Prabhu has been extensively traveling and preaching. I'm told almost 100 countries, right? Prabhu actually makes 2 world tours and almost 7 to 8 months in a year, traveling and preaching Krishna consciousness. And I had been, when we were working during COVID, online programs. So I would say when the whole world was sleeping, that was the time when Prabhu pioneered his internet preaching in the year 2000, right? The ultimate self-realization course. And right today, about 50,000 people are subscribed to it, who actually receive a message and a video every day, and they're connected. And the most amazing part is, if anyone writes a question, I have experience of a devotee in 2005. He wrote a question and immediately a very big answer from Prabhuji, and then he became very enthused in Krishna consciousness and connected. So for 51 years, Prabhuji has been traveling all over the world, preaching Krishna consciousness and making so many people connect to Srila Prabhupada's movement. And Prabhuji's teachings are like directly Srila Prabhupada's undiluted message of Krishna consciousness. And just by hearing, there is a spiritual transformation that we can experience. Apart from that, Prabhuji is also a musician. He plays instruments, guitar, I believe, and composes songs. I remember the last time Prabhu had visited his poem or on peace formula, the then American President Barack Obama, he also had heard it and acknowledged that particular rendering of Prabhuji for world peace. So we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu and the association of Her Grace Vishnu Priya Mataji, who is his good wife for the last 35 years. She's a preaching partner and always in support for making the preaching mission happen. So we're very thankful that they have kindly blessed us for a short association at ISKCON Newtown Goshala, Srila Prabhupada's birth city, Calcutta. So I'd like to welcome him by loudly chanting 3 times, Haribo! 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 Hare Krishna.
What do you want me to do now? What's my assignment? What am I supposed to do now?
You can have talk for half an hour and then question also.
Is there a mix of other lecture? Jagadamadana?
Yes.
Okay.
𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐉𝐻𝐺 Srimad. His Divine Grace Shile Sri Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Patita Pavana Savior of the Fallen Souls Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada flooding the whole universe with a tidal wave of ecstatic Krishna Prema Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pan Vanamaham Zapati Vijakacharja Asadarazashi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Brahmsaka Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakun Narakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamunamai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaura Premananda Haribo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtishadesha Tarine. So tonight we're going to take a look at Bhagavad-Gita chapter 10, text number 9. 10:9, Bhagavad-Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Matsyata Mangata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantashamam Nityam Tasyantichabramanticha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Astatara Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always lightening one another and conversing about me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Pure devotees, whose characteristics are mentioned here, engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing Him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself, and in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection was exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of a living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them, there are a few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That seed fructifies, just as a seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the coverings of the material universe and enters into the Brahma-jalti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as the plant grows fruits and flowers, that plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. It's explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God, then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as stated in Bhagavatam itself, 12, 13, 18. Srimad Bhagavatam Paranam Avalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there's nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamala Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Can these fans be turned down? They're too loud. Put them on a low speed. Reset the fan. Make it look slower. It's not so loud. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Sva. It's fine now. It's fine. Just leave it like, turn that one off too. Actually, you can turn them off. It's not that hot. Not so hot. Just turn them off. Turn them off. Yeah, we don't need them. Yeah, just turn them off. Yeah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. In this material world, boys are attracted to girls and girls are attracted to boys, isn't it? But here we read that actually that's in a similar way. Just as a boy and girl take pleasure in associating, the self-realized souls take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures. In other words, hearing the Bhagavad-Gita is good as, it's actually even better than having sex. You see? It's even better than having sex. And preaching also, as I've many times described, by having sex, you can make one woman pregnant. But by preaching, you can make the whole world pregnant. Instead of injecting semen in some woman's body to give her a baby, you can inject. This is too loud. It's too loud. Turn that one. Turn those off over there. Too loud. Oh, yeah. We don't need all this. Yeah, we don't need all this. It's just not that hard. You need it over there? Okay, leave it on over there for the ladies. They're feeling hot. So the point is that actually by the same pleasure you can get of making a woman pregnant, you get even a better pleasure by preaching, because now you can make the whole world pregnant. See, Papa actually told us in Los Angeles back in '73, he said, just become perfect now, understanding the science of Krishna, become guru and deliver the world. So that's our assignment. Your duty, deliver the world. Deliver the world, that's your duty. You deliver the world, you see. Here's your duty, to deliver the world, okay? That's your assignment, deliver the world. So that's our assignment. Your duty is deliver the world, Mataji. Your duty is deliver the world. Prabhupada gave us, his followers, this assignment, deliver the world. So if we embrace this world deliverance mission as our life and soul, then how are we going to be qualified to do that? Well, to whatever extent you deliver yourself, to that extent you're empowered to deliver the whole world. So that means we have to take complete shelter of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. To avoid all the offenses. We can't be offensive towards Vaishnavas because they're representatives of Krishna. They're representatives of the holy name. We have to have very proper loving relationships with all the devotees, with our spiritual master. We have to take these teachings of Srila Prabhupada as our very life and soul. In this way, we can actually relish we can taste amazing nectar at every minute. It's an amazing description here. This is one of the most amazing purports in all of Prabhupada's books. There's the seed of Prabhupada is planted the seed of bhakti in our hearts in these books, you see. The seed of bhakti is planted in your heart, you see. So by this chanting, you're watering the seed. And by avoiding the fences, you're keeping the weeds out, you see. If you commit offenses, then you have weeds growing along with the creepers. So we have to avoid all the offenses, because then you don't have any weeds growing along with the creeper. So the more you water the seed, you see that little tiny creeper sprouts and actually penetrates the coverings of the universe. Can you imagine? You can actually have a creeper in your heart that penetrates the coverings of the universe. This is not some poetic thing, this is a fact. You can actually have a creeper in your heart that penetrates the coverings of the universe. First it enters the Brahma Jyoti, and then it goes to Goloka Vrindavan. Can you imagine actually being connected to Goloka Vrindavan right here in Kolkata? within your heart, you can actually be connected with Goloka Vrindavan. Can you imagine where Krishna's pastimes are happening right now? You see? So, my dear devotees, please take this process very seriously. Don't cheat yourself by running after sense gratification. Don't cheat yourself. You're not that material body. Your material body is just a covering. It's a garment that you're wearing, you see. If you spend all your energies taking care of the garment, you don't take care of the person within, you're gonna, your life will be a complete wreck, you see. And that's what 99.9999% of the world population is doing right now. They're just serving the garment and they're neglecting the self within, you see. Therefore, people are frustrated. They're so frustrated. One young boy, he was so frustrated, he went to school with a gun, he shot 17 students dead, can you imagine, in the US? And 3 teachers also. He shot 17 people dead. He's a frustrated kid with a gun. He got the gun and went to school, got 17 people dead. Can you imagine how people frustrated are, you see? That's because they're not realizing who they actually are. They're thinking, I'm the body, you see. But thinking your body, you put yourself in a very bad condition. When you're young, it seems pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoy it. But I guarantee you, with a 75-year-old body, I can guarantee you, the body gets older, this thing goes wrong, that thing goes wrong, one thing after another after another. So do yourself a favor, my dear young people and middle-aged people. You see, don't misidentify with your body, you know, because it's going to be a miserable pest later on when you get older. One botheration after another botheration. You need to tune in now. Here we have an elderly gentleman. You know what I mean? These old bodies, so many problems. So you have to say, okay, now let me get serious about awakening my actual identity. Jivera Sarupa Krishna Nichadas. The constitutional position of a living entity is he is the eternal servant of Krishna. Let me come back to being who I actually am and not misidentifying with this lump of stool and urine and pus and blood. Let me get free from misidentifying with this rotting corpse and actually realize who I am. I'm an eternal spiritual being. Actually, I'm one of the associates of Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. What am I doing? Misidentifying with an Indian or an American or a Lithuanian or a Bulgarian, you see, or an Australian, you see. Why am I cheating myself and misidentifying with this body, you see? So my dear ladies and gentlemen and kids, there's one kid back there. I see that kid there. Please don't misidentify with your material body, you see. Please wake up and realize who you really are. You're the eternal servant of Krishna. You're not a citizen of this material world. You're not a citizen of India. You are a citizen of the spiritual sky. That's who you actually are, you see. So let's not cheat ourselves. Let's become a little intelligent and take Prabhupada's teachings as our very life and soul. I guarantee you, if you can embrace Prabhupada's teachings as your life and soul, your life will become full of bliss. You become empowered to deliver so many people from their ignorance and their misery and their suffering. So the more you awaken your Krishna consciousness, the more you're empowered to awaken the Krishna consciousness of others. And the more you give Krishna, the more you give Krishna. That's why I recommend you should dedicate your life for giving Krishna to the whole world. Okay, my goal is to give Krishna to the whole world, you see. The more you're in the mood of giving Krishna, the more you get Krishna. You see. So if we take this process seriously, our lives will be unlimitedly sublime. And this verse is nicely telling us. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. That means we should always be talking about Krishna, you see. We get together to talk about Krishna. What did you realize about Krishna today, you see? We can share our realizations. My dear husband, my dear wife, my dear godbrothers, my dear god sisters, what did you realize about Krishna today? What's your latest realization about Krishna, you see? In this way, we get in the habit of always talking about Krishna. Krishna Kata, Krishna Kata, Krishna Kata. Get in the habit of always talking about Krishna. What will happen? You'll derive great, Krishna guarantees if you do that, you'll derive great satisfaction and bliss. Would you like to have great satisfaction and bliss, or would you like to be confused and depressed? What would you prefer? Confused and depressed, or deriving great satisfaction and bliss? It's your choice. You can be confused and depressed by talking Gramyagata, mundane topics. What did the Prime Minister say this today? What happened to the soccer game? Who won the soccer? We can talk mundane things, you see. Guru Mataji, you have some points? This is my beloved wife here, Guru Mataji. She's known as Guru Mataji all over the world. You have any points you'd like to add, Guru Mataji? If anything comes up, just let us know. Let her keep the mic. If something comes up, she can add something. So does anybody have any questions? Any arguments? Does anybody disagree with me? Sankarshan, you're crazy. This is the nonsense what you're saying. The real fact is sense gratification is where it's at. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody lack pure love of God in their hearts? I do. I don't have it yet. We're neophytes. We're struggling neophytes trying to get out of Maya, isn't it? I keep identifying with this body. I keep being self-centered and selfish and ignore the serving others. Here I am, a selfish nonsense rascal, always thinking about myself. I'm not caring about anybody else. You see, we have this tendency to be selfish and egocentric. You see, so we have to realize we're cheating ourselves by doing this. You see, we have to put Krishna in the center. We should always think, what would Krishna like me to think right now? What would Krishna like me to say right now? What would Krishna like me to do right now? Or what would Prabhupada like me, how would Prabhupada like me to be speaking right now? Or how would my spiritual master like me to be speaking right now? You see? We always realize we are conditioned souls, we're making so many mistakes. So I had to always think, okay, I got to correct myself. I got to correct myself. I have to correct myself. I correct myself. Are my thoughts pleasing the Krishna and Guru? Am I pleasing Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Bhakti Vinod Thakur and all the Panchatattva, the Sri Gaurnitai? Are they pleased by what I'm thinking about right now? Are they pleased by what I'm speaking? Are they pleased by how I'm conducting myself? So you have to always be very introspective, always be analyzing ourselves. And see, am I doing that which will please Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnavas? Stop being egocentric and selfish and lazy and crazy. Any questions? Any additions? Yeah, here we go. Question. I'm a little hard of hearing, so.
Okay. My question is that seven days you have to decide. So that this seva. Seva.
Seva?
Seven days you have to.
Yeah. Translation. English.
That the holy name is not different from Krishna. And that can be realized when we approach service. Then you can realize that.
Well, Krishna and his name are one and the same. So if you take uttering his name very seriously, I must purely chant his name without any offense, realizing that Krishna himself, Krishna, 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 he's fully present. We have to remember Krishna is fully present. When I say Krishna, 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 he's fully present. Hare, Radharani is coming. Balaram is there, and Rama. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. When I'm chanting japa, I'm directly associating with Shri Radha and Krishna and Lord Balaram at every minute. We have to realize that, and we have to pray that I can chant in that mood of completely diving into shelter of their lotus feet. So we have to remember that. Keep that, always remind ourselves of that. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, we have people writing some questions. That's good. I hear, but this old body, my hearing isn't so good. My hearing aids aren't perfect. Oh, let's try. Go ahead. I have one written down here. All right. There are two slokas. One is honestly feeling that I am what? V-A-M. What does it say that word?
I'm still not there yet.
I'm what?
Still.
Oh, I'm still. Okay. Feeling, one is honestly feeling I'm still not there yet, being on the pure platform. And thus no in the inclination to discussing Krishna Katha amongst God sisters and God brothers and God sisters of others, the other side, and just doing it, earn it. Actually, even if you don't feel like doing it, just do it anyway. You see. The fact is, right now, most of you just feel like sense gratification. That's our feelings, because we're still under the influence of the three modes of nature. You have to intelligently do that what you should be doing, even though you don't feel like doing it. But if you actually do it and keep doing it, gradually you feel like doing it, and you won't feel like doing it in nonsense anymore. So it's the devotional service in practice and devotional service in full realization. We don't feel like getting up in the morning, but we force ourselves with alarm clock, and we tell our God brothers, wake me up, wake me up. But finally, we get in a habit, we wouldn't want to sleep. It's sleep in. We want to get up early in the morning for Mangalarti. So just in the beginning, you know, the feeling isn't there, but you do it understanding what your duty is, and gradually develop a feeling for it where it happens naturally, spontaneously. Another question? Here we go, some questions from Ramanaji's side. Anything, Ramanaji, you want to add, just let us know. We're happy to hear from you. Okay. Bhakti creeper is growing very slowly. What to do for the creeper to grow fast? How do you speed it? That's a very good question. How do you speed it up? Here I am, you know, for 51 years chanting Hare Krishna. I'm still not seeing Krishna face to face, eye to eye every minute. 51 years. He said. Actually, Prabhupada gave me an order. He said, now you disqualify yourself to see Krishna face to face. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still seeing, you know, I see the deity, but actually seeing him, you see. I'm still waiting for that day. So what do you do when you want to, I actually want to see Krishna face to face, and I haven't gotten there yet. Well, that's a very nice verse that helps us. Premanjana charita bhakti valokshanena santak sadaiva hidaye shivalokayanti yang shama shundaramachim yagana svarupam govindamari purusham damaham bhajani. I worship Govinda the Prime Lord of the Shama Sundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable innumerable attributes from the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, changed with the salve of love. So that's what we want to come to. So the key is we have to anoint our eyes with the ointment of God. It's called, in Sanskrit, it's called Prem Anjana. Anjana is ointment and Prem is love. So how do you anoint your eyes with Prem Anjana? Well, what do you normally do to put eye on? I mean, take a little thing and squeeze it on, right? But this is mystical ointment. You don't take a little bottle and squeeze it in your eyes. This is, you take it in through your ears, you see. The more you hear about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, that actually anoints your eyes with the salve of love of God. So, wow, we're getting tons of questions now. What time are we in? When do I have to stop? What time do I have to stop? It's now 6:25. I can go to 15 more minutes. Okay. So the key is how to speed up this creeper. You have to keep hearing. That's the key. You can chant extra rounds. Just like today, Krishna blessed me, I did 64 rounds. You can take extra rounds and, you can do extra rounds. Or you can hear lectures. You can hear so many lectures, keep hearing. So in this way, increase your hearing. That's how you can speed it up. Okay. As your grace mentioned, that more we give Krishna, the more we get. So my question is, how do we get and what do we get when we share Krishna? The more you give him, the more you get him. It's very simple. The more you can help other people become attracted to Krishna, the more you become attracted to Krishna. The fact. The more you give him, you don't believe me, just try it. Try distributing books. Try going on Harinam Sankirtan. Try giving prasadam to people. Try telling people about Krishna. You see. It's amazing, actually. I had one experience. I was giving out. Sometimes people are very inimical. What do you do? I was handing out Simply Wonderfuls on the street, University Avenue in Gainesville, Florida, way back in about '73. And some hippie came up and he knocked the Simply Wonderfuls, knocked them all out into the street. So what to do? I said, you better get out there and pick up all those sweets right now, like that. And it worked. He went, He went out and picked up all the sweets. And I helped him. The light was red and the cars weren't running. Before the light turned green, he got all the Simply Wonderfuls packed up and not one of them was run over by a car, you see. So become aggressive to spread Krishna consciousness. Even if you have to chastise someone, become very aggressive to spread Krishna consciousness. And you'll be amazed how Krishna will dance in your heart. You'll be amazed. Okay, kindly enlighten if one is not applying the teachings, what he heard means one's faith in the teaching is not strong, then how can one strengthen one's faith to apply the teachings? If you should kick out the doubts. Okay, doubts, get out. You see. My dear doubts, you've been haunting me for millions of lifetimes, keeping me here in the cycle of birth and death since time immemorial. So my dear doubts, you're no longer welcome. Get out, get out, get out. Leave me alone. Chastise your doubts. And then read Prabhupada's books. And you go, wow, this is amazing. I feel like Prabhupada is right there speaking to me face to face, eye to eye. How to change the old habit of doing things centered around me. Yeah, that's a problem I have too. I'm pretty self-centered. How do we get out of this habit of being self-centered? Well, you can beg Krishna. Beg, my dear spiritual master, please bless me. I stop being self-centered and just thinking about myself, ignoring others. Please help me get out of this nonsense mentality of thinking I'm the center of the universe. Please help me be always in a mood of loving and serving the spiritual master, loving, serving the Vaishnavas, and loving and serving the conditioned souls by spreading Krishna consciousness. Please, Krishna, help me get out of this egotistic, self-centered mood. Just beg Krishna to help you, and he will. Okay, we have time for more questions. We've got about 12 minutes. Let's see. Thank you for the conviction. We become frustrated by sense gratification, but when we apply ourselves in devotional service, we again want to go to sense gratification. How we can become completely focused to keep sense gratification, forego sense gratification one and all. Now, you did see the thing is, we take up devotional service and then we drift back to sense gratification because we're habituated for thousands and millions of lifetimes. We've been habituated to sense gratification as our only business. So we keep slipping away, slipping away, slipping away. Now, how did a little kid learn how to walk? He slips and falls, doesn't he? The parents say, come on, Amit, you can walk. Come on, Amit. You can do it, you can do it, you see. The parents keep encouraging me. He keeps slipping and falling. Come on, Ahmed. He's crying. He fell down. He cries. Come on, Ahmed. You can do it. Come on, come on, come on. The parents keep encouraging little Ahmed that he can walk. And one day he walks. And then one day he even runs. Being the champion runner even, you see. So just like the parents are encouraging, in spite of his slips and falls, encouraging him. See, you have to use your intelligence and keep encouraging yourself. My dear so-and-so, you can actually become Krishna's pure devotee. See, followed by the same face to face. You can become empowered to deliver the fallen soul of this world back to home, back to God. You just got to keep, every time you get off the track, you get lazy, you get crazy, you get self-centered. You got to keep bringing your back. Yato nishchalati, manas chanchalamashtalam, tatastato nayam yatat, atmanyagadushamyaya. From whatever and wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Want to add some points, Guru Manaji? Want to add some points? Okay. All right, let's see if we got some more here. How to be conscious? Well, we are conscious. We're Maya conscious. That's the problem. Most of the time, consciousness is thinking of eating or feeling sleepy. So how to be fully conscious? Thing is, you have to get the higher taste. Rasa, and higher taste. So how do you get the higher taste? One little trick is get up early in the morning. You see. The chant goes round before sunrise, before the mode of passion comes in. Rise early in the morning and chant really attentive round before sunrise. And you'll taste some nectar by doing that, you see. So in this way, take every opportunity. It's like you're in a class, try to really tune in, turn on, and bliss out, you see. By going deep, taking deep into your heart, driving. The more you take Krishna Katha into your heart, the more you drive away the lust, the anger, the greed, the nausea, the envy. So take it in deeply. Okay, let's see what else here. Rupa Goswami advises us to discriminate amongst devotees for the association. How to make it understand and discriminate? Yeah, it's very simple. Devotees who are more advanced, you take shelter of them. Devotees who are equally advanced, you become friends with them. Those who are less advanced, you become merciful to help them. It's very simple. There's devotees equally advanced, more advanced, and less advanced. Someone's more advanced, take shelter of them. Take advantage of their advanced consciousness. Learn how to tune in and really serve them with love and hear what they're saying and take it deep into your heart. And those who are equal, become friends. Help them, encourage them. Take their help and encouragement also. And those who are less advanced, be very, very kind to them and help them come to the transcendental position. Okay, one more. How to implement Prabhupada's teachings into our life. If we are finding ourselves being differently, doing what Srila Prabhupada is saying. You should put a note on your wall or somewhere. I must take the orders of Srila Prabhupada as my very life and soul. Make a note somewhere, big note. I must now take the teachings of Srila Prabhupada as my very life and soul in all times, in all places, in all circumstances, in my every thought, word, and deed. Make that your determined vow. My dear Krishna, please bless me. I can now take Srila Prabhupada's teachings as my very life and soul in all times, places, and circumstances, my every thought, word, and deed. You can pray like that every day, or many times during the day. But I guarantee if you start praying like that, you're going to become an advanced devotee very quickly. I must, my dear Srila Prabhupada, please bless me. I can take your orders as my very life and soul in all times, places, and circumstances, my every thought, word, and deed. You keep praying that way, you're going to become an advanced devotee quickly, I guarantee you. If you don't believe me, just try it. Just try it. How to rise above inattentive japa. Yeah, that's the problem, or japa, jabber japa, they call it. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, how you doing? Krishna Krishna Hare. What time's Prasadam? Ram Ram. Here's one little trick I recommend. Until I finish your rounds, I'm not taking any prasadam. That's one little trick. That way your belly will force you to chant your rounds. No japa until, no prasadam until my rounds are done. That's one little trick. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's definitely a tip that will help you get your rounds done early in the day. So get my rounds done. My wife and I both get up before, we chant around before Mangalarti, because we do puja, sit in deity seva after Mangalarti, and I cook the breakfast. Back in Austin, I cooked the breakfast. So we do our round before Mangalarti. So that's not hard, but that's a very nice thing. If you're doing deity service in the morning, when the pujaris, you're on the altar, try doing that. Try your round before Mangalarti. And you'll have amazing experiences touching the deities after you've finished your rounds. Okay, so that's about it. Anybody have any objections? Anybody think I'm a crazy nut? Talking a bunch of nonsense? I don't know anything. It's all baloney or nonsense when I'm speaking. It's all nonsense. Or do you think what I'm speaking is the absolute truth and you must now embrace it as your very life and soul? You nodded, one person nodded yes, nobody else did. Two people nodded yes. And there's 3 and 4. There's 5, 6, 7. Many people are accepting. Okay, so take these instructions. I'm simply coming as a representative of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ordered me to. He told me I could actually aspire to become Jagat Guru, the spiritual master of the whole universe. Personally, told me I could aspire to be in that position. So I'm trying as his humble servant to give you this knowledge that will now make your life perfect, give you this system of practicing Krishna consciousness so that in such a way, the material nature will no longer penetrate into your heart and you completely become fixed in pure devotional service. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. One more. How did you come in contact with Srila Prabhupada? Oh, wow, that's a long story. Should I tell a little bit? Oh, wow. Maybe I'll see if I can do it in 10 minutes. It's actually I'm writing a whole book called Revolutionize Your Consciousness and Lead the Whole World Out of Chaos. That's the book I'm writing right now that tells the story in detail. Revolutionize your consciousness and lead the whole world out of chaos. But basically what happened was I was a young spiritual seeker. I went to college, but I was totally miserable. I was totally depressed. Then I heard there was something called self-realization from Paramahamsa Yogananda. So I enrolled in his course and it didn't work. They had me meditating on a candle in a dark room. So that was my system, sit and meditate on a candle. I mean, I burned the lessons, forget that one. And then I tried Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He gave me a mantra, ang, ang, ang. I had to pay money for it. You had to pay money for it. And I gave that one up too. That didn't work. So anyway, but then one night, with some friend of mine, we were all hippies taking LSD, this kind of stuff. So I went to my friend's house and he was over at somebody else's house and they'd all taken LSD and I decided not to join them. I wasn't interested in having another bad trip. So then after a few minutes, one of the hippies became crazy. He took all his clothes off. He started breaking all of his record albums on the wall. He ran down the street naked. He was going door to door saying, "There's LSD in the water. Can you give me a drink of water?" So they all came to my apartment to hide out. And my friend Patrick said, "Everybody just chant this to protect him." He started going, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then he showed me an article in the Saturday Evening Post to talk about Prabhupada. I thought about giving this mantra. So this way I first heard about Prabhupada. There was an article in the Saturday Evening Post how Prabhupada was in Haight-Ashbury engaging all the hippies and chanting Hare Krishna. So anyway, I decided that I couldn't handle a career in the material world. I decided now my career is to become a holy beggar in India. That was my career choice. Drop out of college and become one of those holy beggars in India. So I was heading out to India, and but then I had a realization because I was doing the Mayavadi thing, neti, not this, right? Deny. But then I realized, oh, wait a minute. If I deny everything, denial is also something. So must also deny denial and accept something transcendental and then deliver the world became my mission. So instead of going to India, I went to Haight-Ashbury. I met the devotees, but I was still floated with my body philosophy, thinking I'm Krishna. So, but then gradually, I associated with the devotees again and again. I helped them with their Sunday love feast in the park. I helped to advertise it. They engaged me. Although 2 times I was given an opportunity to meet Prabhupada, I didn't go. I was so puffed up. I didn't want to become one of those monks. I liked what they were doing, but I wasn't ready to become a monk. So anyway, then I went. The scene on the West Coast got really bad. There was all kind of violence going on. So I decided to go back to Austin, where I had gone to school earlier, and try to go back to school, but I couldn't handle it. But then I realized that, well, Lord Jesus was self-realized. What was his secret? What made him self-realized? So one day I found it. He says, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. So I started praying, dear God, please guide me how I can become your perfect servant. I was praying. And then Krishna answered my prayer. He sent Vishnujan Swami to Ashram. And so gradually I associated with him, and I became attracted to become a disciple. So we got a wonderful letter from San Francisco from London in September of 1971. Prabhupada accepted me as his disciple by his great kindness. And I wrote him back, I sent him some dakshina, and I told him, I want to spread this movement. I was enthusiastic to preach. And Prabhupada wrote me a wonderful letter back. He told me the amounts of the checks that he had gotten, like a pucka account, right? Exact amount of the checks he'd received from me in the mail. And then he said, I can see you're a very sincere and enthusiastic boy, eager to spread this Krishna conscious movement. He said, now continue enthusiastically as you are doing, and surely Krishna will bless you. Well, I've been doing that for 51 years, and the blessings are still coming. Prabhupada's words are very powerful. Here I am trying to spread Krishna consciousness in Kolkata, you see, and Krishna is blessing me. So therefore, I have this determination to make the whole world Krishna conscious. And in fact, I take birth after birth to do so. That's my determination. Back to God, I can wait. I want to take birth after birth until the whole world becomes Krishna conscious. That my enthusiasm is to make the whole world Krishna conscious. And Krishna is reciprocating with my desire, but give me a lot of mercy. A lot of mercy he's given me. A lot of mercy Prabhupada has given me. They're showering unlimited mercy upon me every minute. I have to learn how to accept that mercy and take it deep, deep, deep. Now, I'm still mastering it. I haven't mastered it yet, but I am getting better. After 51 years, I got a little better than when I started 51 years ago. I'm a little bit than I was then, but I'm still not seeing Krishna face to face as Prabhupada ordered me. So I'm begging for that day. My dear Srila Prabhupada, bless me that day will come when I will see Krishna face to face 24 hours a day in all times, places, and circumstances. But Prabhupada gave us some nice hint. The first lecture I heard in San Francisco, we went out there for Prabhupada was doing in Golden Gate Park, the Ratha Yatra. It's the first lecture I heard live with Prabhupada. Gave a wonderful lecture. He said, everyone, you're all seeing Krishna, because Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. He said, and every time you drink water, if you remember Krishna is the taste of the water, remind me. Remember that Krishna is the taste of the water, immediately become Krishna conscious. He said to become Krishna conscious is not difficult, it simply requires practice, you see. So we just had to keep practicing, okay. Just like learn how to play a harmonium, you got to practice, right? But don't you practice. How to play the cards, you practice. The more you practice, you get better. The more you practice Krishna consciousness, you get better and better, and one day you'll master it, and you'll see Krishna face to face, eye to eye, standing right in front of you, blessing you with his unlimited mercy. So let's do it. Let's all become pure devotees and let's work together as a spiritual family to make this whole material world Krishna conscious as soon as possible. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's see if I can pass it that far. Huh? I don't think it's that far. See, I'm not that strong, but I'll try. There we go. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His grace Sriman Sankarshan Adhikari Guru Maharaj ki jai. Our grace Vishnu Priya Mata ki jai. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to thank His Grace Sankarshan Adhikari Prabhu for giving us so much of enthusiasm, faith in Srila Prabhupada's teachings and his mission. Let us thank him by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
About the books, yeah, you can teach. Actually, I don't know. Just tell the books.
Hare Krishna. We also have a lot of books here written by Prabhuji. Truth Works, Pursuit of Excellence in Krishna Consciousness, Know Who You Are and Be Who You Are, Uttama Bhakti, Stop Worrying, Start Living. And so we have many books authored by Sri Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu. So devotees would like to have a copy of them, and Prabhu can, yeah. And we can get blessings of getting a autograph or Prabhu's. Hare Krishna. So devotees who would want to have it, please come to the table and then get a copy. We also have CDs. We also have CDs of Prabhu's lectures, Condensed Nectar, Conquer Your Mind,
they will ask for better announce.
This is in volumes.
Volume 1 so far, and volume 2 is coming. Hare Krishna everyone. Those, okay, Hindi. अभी जिनको बुक लेना है प्लीज आ जाइए जल्दी, क्योंकि अभी गुरु महाराज को जाना भी है. तो please come forward as soon as possible. This Truth Works, ये बहुत अच्छा बुक है. इसमें गुरु महाराज ने जो कोर्स चालू किया है 2002, the science of self realization, तो उसमें बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट ने बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं. उनका वैदिक शास्त्र अनुसार जो भी आंसर है वो सब अच्छे क्वेश्चंस, अच्छे आंसर्स इसमें है. ये अबाउट 500 रुपीज है. तो आप आ सकते हो आगे और गुरु महाराज से साइन ले सकते हो. ब्लेसिंग, ऑटोग्राफ.
Stay for the
This comes out 15 rupees. 15 rupees extra cut is there. No, I'll be.